Good evening, West Ham.
Good evening, Michael. Thank you for the invite.
You're welcome. Good evening, Fahad.
Hello, Minister.
We're introducing Westy today, our guest, our guest and our visitor to today's weekly catch-up. And we all know Fahad. So we're going to talk about Arsenal first, and then we'll move on to West Ham, their thoughts on this week's football. So, Westy, what's your take on Arsenal's performance over the weekend?
Good result. If you go away to St James's Park, it's not an easy place to go. They got quite a good home record. Excellent manager, knows how to set up, great tactics and all the rest of it. Loads of experience, winning the European Cup. You go up there, you get yourself 3 points, come back down to London. Wow, great job done.
Did you see the interview after the game and the way Ozil, because there was rumours that Ozil and Emery had fallen out and that's why he weren't playing, but his interview he said that they were quite united as a club and behind the manager.
No, I didn't see that interview personally, but Ozil is one of those players that divides opinion. My opinion of him, quality. When he played for Germany, quality. Mm-hmm. But obviously he's surrounded by great quality. When he plays for Arsenal, in some of the bigger games, people would expect a little bit more of him because he is like a world-class player. Then unfortunately, you get paid the big bucks, then you have to deliver, and you're the one that's got to carry your team. You're the one that's got to pull them through. If it's 1-1, they're expecting you to do something a bit special to get the 2-1 lead. If you're losing 1-0, they expect you to be the leader and expect you to drag them and at least come away with something. So that's pressure on him, but ultimately he needs to deliver.
Do you think, Fahad, what's your take on Westy's response to Ozil?
Ozil is class. He's got a beautiful goal and he will turn up in the big games when he needs to. But he hasn't, unfortunately. But you don't know, like he said yesterday, like he said in the interview, I'm understanding the manager with the new manager. There's a good relationship with us in the team. We know what he wants of us. We know what we're going to give him. And that's what he said in the interview. So it just goes to show, really, that Emery's working with the players in the team. Yeah, but for him to come out to say that, there was something all right before, for the previous manager. For him to come out and say, well, we understand the manager, we understand his philosophy, we understand what he wants us to do. For him to come out and say that, there's something right at the club.
Do you think that Ozil was right to make that sort of statement?
He's got every right. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. He's got every right to. Why not?
Do you think that's right, West? Like, for him to actually criticise the old manager? You know I'm not a Wenger fan. We all know that.
He didn't criticise him.
But do you think that
opinion.
No, but the way he's actually saying it is if like this manager knows what he's doing and the other manager didn't seem to know what he's doing.
Yeah, but that's what Freddie Ljungberg said it too. Freddie Ljungberg said he was like a father figure, but when it would come to football, we needed a change. That's what Freddie Ljungberg said.
What's your take on that, Wes?
If players want to say anything about the manager, then they got to stop belly aching when the manager then calls them out. It's got to be a two-way street. Now, me personally, I'm all up for the manager to call players out because it's not really down to the manager. If I'm there at the stadium or I'm watching it live on Sky or I watch Match of the Day or whatever, and I can see who's not running. I can see who's not putting in a shift. I don't need any manager, whether it's Pellegrini, Wenger or Unai, to say, oh, my players were misplacing passes or they missed tackles or they weren't tracking runners. So if the manager says that, I don't understand really why players moan, oh, he's throwing me under the bus. I can see myself. The manager's only saying what I can see.
I think also them was just a myth. It was a lie. There was nothing between them. I just think it was all made up. You can see they get on. Unai and Ozil, they get on. And they work together. I think they were just doing it just to sell newspaper or just get a source out of it. But I don't think really between them both, they're both fine. In our squad, everyone's playing together, playing as a team, and that's what we want. And Arsenal are going to break into the top 4 and maybe win the league.
What's your take on that? Do you think... my opinion's quite out there on where I think we're going to finish, but what's your understanding or what do you think?
I've already said on many occasions, Arsenal, I think, are a 6th place team.
Top 4, mate.
And no, that's a good.
We've been missing for 2 years. We 2 years. We're gonna come back. We're gonna go back where we belong, to that 4th spot.
a sixth place team, and I can give you reasons, or at least my reasons, why they're a sixth place team.
Why is that then? Go.
Well, number one, like the obvious, there's 5 teams better than you.
Who?
There's 5 teams with better players,
Who?
with a stronger depth,
Who?
stronger squads,
Who?
Better away records. I'm sure like the intelligent ones can do their own research,
Who?
and everything I just said can be backed up with facts.
In my eyes,
Plus, I
only-
think your 2 centre halves are not top
Did
draw.
you see that
Champions
tackle
League top draw. That's what I'm on about. Yeah, central midfield, Xhaka and a young boy.
Did you see his goal yesterday, mate?
Yeah, that's just a one.
That was a David Beckham.
Beautiful
Beautiful
goal.
That was
David Beckham.
Beautiful
Did you see
goal.
Socrates' tackle yesterday?
Beautiful
I
goal.
thought it was Maldini for the second.
Beautiful goal against a relegation threatened side. So that's
right.
great. But then where were they?
That's what I thought.
Where were they when they had to play Man City? This is what I'm on about.
But
when they had to play Man
We
City.
got through in the deep end well already.
Well, okay.
We never had the armbands on.
But the counter argument is new manager, changing system,
Yeah.
some new players.
Yeah.
Then he's not necessarily understanding the stronger squad.
We don't
So
have that
we've had
armband
we've had 2 difficult games to start with. You could argue that the manager with his current squad was thrown under the bus for those first 2 games. Really.
Yeah, that would be reasonably fair, even though you've had a full pre-season to hopefully iron things up. But no, I'd be happy to agree with that. But I still think whenever you play the returns in whatever December, January, February, I would take those 5 teams, the obvious 5. I think at the moment they're all a little bit stronger than this current Arsenal side.
So
Well,
would
to
you,
be honest with you, I think the only 2 teams that are flying, the 2 teams that are actually performing, everyone knows, are Liverpool and Man City. The rest, I think they're all in the same category.
for me,
I think all of them, Chelsea, Arsenal, the bung team, Tottenham. Because last week they were going to win the league, and where they are now, 9 points, they're the same points as us.
to be fair, looking at Spurs, they've not really performed over the last 2 games. But every
What's your
team,
take on Tottenham? What's your take on Spurs? Let's talk about Spurs now.
Talented, great defense, great manager. Probably haven't got quite enough depth. I think they'll get in the top 4 because when they play, I think they're ahead of Arsenal. I agree with you
No
about
chance.
I agree with you about like Chelsea. Even though Chelsea have had a great start, whether they'll go all the way, I'm not sure. But no Champions League. This is where I think Liverpool may have a slight advantage because it's quite obvious. They'd like to win the Premiership, but they want to win the Champions League. And that could just distract them ever so slightly. So even though Pep will have them up for it, I think Liverpool got a big advantage there because that's all Man City
Liverpool
want.
can't multitask. That's the truth about it. Liverpool can't multitask. Liverpool, they either go for the league or they go for the Champions League. See, Liverpool are the type of team, they go so high and they go both rock bottom. Like in the final against obviously Real Madrid, no shame to losing to Real Madrid. But they ain't going to win the Champions League thinking they're going to win the league. It don't work like that. They either go for the Champions League or the league because Liverpool ain't got a current mentality to win it. And especially Klopp as a manager, he's like, I'm not going to say no names, but he's like a certain manager that we know very well, and he's used to losing European finals.
He wants the Premiership, I think.
Yeah,
Or at
he's
least
go for
I
it.
think the Liverpool
He's won the
fans
league.
anyway. Yeah, the Liverpool
Go for the
fans.
league.
They would love the
They
the
got a good chance.
Premiership. Yeah.
But you never know, only time will tell. You never know.
No, that's
That Liverpool might flop, Man City might flop, you never know. But at the present moment,
Do-
they are
do-
looking, they're the
but
most
do you
hottest
think-
teams.
so do you
Man
think-
City won't flop though.
So do you
No
think then
idea.
if Man City and Liverpool did flop, hypothetical question here,
Arsenal
to
win the
both
league.
of you,
Arsenal wins the league.
Westy,
No, Arsenal don't win
Chelsea
the league.
ain't winning no league. Tottenham are bottlers. They couldn't even win the FA Cup on their own ground. And they ain't even got a ground. Do you know what I mean?
so,
I think we should do a collection for Grange Gardens so Spurs can play down here.
oh, bloody hell.
Can they put a settee?
Yeah, I suppose, but they're going to have about 80,000 fans. I don't think a little house in Grangetown can hold 80,000 fans.
Don't worry, we get 80,000 settees at our house
So-
in Grange Town.
So do you think though? So you've obviously drew reference to Arsenal being a top 6. I know we've had discussions.
Top four, get it
No,
right, mate. Top
I'm
four.
not asking Westy.
Top 4.
We've had discussions Arsenal being a top 6. I've had people tag me and stuff saying that they think that West Ham and Arsenal are competing for the same place.
No.
Would you actually?
No, Look, if anybody says that, I've been supporting West Ham 48 years. I'm sure when you came in, you've seen all the jerseys lined all over my house by West Ham front door. So I'm West Ham through and through from the days of Clyde Best. And not even I would be stupid enough or insane enough to say we're competing with Arsenal. Arsenal are a giant. I put Arsenal in one of the top 10, definitely top dozen teams in the whole of Europe. So Arsenal are on nearly a par with the Juventuses or the AC Milans, the Liverpools, the Man United, the Bayern, Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're in that sort of league. So, okay, at the moment, you're in the doldrums a little bit. Well, for a couple of years. But then everybody else...
We'll be back.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you won't be. I mean, even United, as big as United were, they had a couple of seasons. They couldn't even qualify for the Champions League. So there's no shame in it.
What's your take on Mourinho? I reckon they should keep him. He's a good manager. He plays the best parking bus football ever in the history of the Premier League. So they should keep him.
I think that's a bit unfair.
Why?
Like, how can you say he plays the best park the bus in the history of the Premier League when he had Duff and all those guys? Didn't he have 95 points or something like that?
Duff.
Yeah, Damien Duff and all those, when he used to play with two wingers, and I think he got more points in that season than the Invincibles, because he was going to actually win games, whereas Arsenal just wanted to keep that unbeaten record, and you would go away and just draw.
It's a new game.
Jose was saying, like, let's go win. Let's go win, baby.
Yeah, that's when he had a lot of money to spend.
He is a bit different now, but
exactly.
If I'm Jose and I'm playing, say, Liverpool, Pochettino, I sat here and I'm thinking, wow, he's got this all wrong. He's playing with two centre-backs. He's pushing both full-backs on. And I've done a lot of coaching. I mean, Wales, America, I've been all over, done my badges and that. It was ridiculous, the system he put out there. You might not like Jose's tactics, his style. I'm not sure of his record. I'm sure some Man United fans will tell me. But I bet you United v Liverpool, I bet you United have won way more, not even close, than Liverpool have beaten them. Because Jose will just go out and say, this is the tactics for this game. We're not playing West Ham or West Brom or Watford or whoever. This is Liverpool. So he's respecting Liverpool because of their size, because of their might, their history, their tradition, and that potent front three. Well, and usually they get 5 or 6 in the box. They just pile forward. They overwhelm you. You cannot leave spaces. So he basically says to his fullbacks, don't leave space. You just sit in there. Don't let Salah run into space. Don't let Mane run into space. We're going to close down the space. If it happens to be 0-0, fine, I'll take that. It means they haven't got 3 points. If we can nick one up the other end with big Lukaku or whatever, then we don't mind robbing it, because at the end of the day, they've reversed places. United was 6 and Liverpool were, 3rd or 4th, whatever, a couple of years ago. 2 years later, United are runners-up with a runners-up medal. Liverpool are behind them. So he can justify it by that.
Would you say, because remember the Gerrard slip when Liverpool were going for the league, and you know who caused them that defeat? Jose. Do you think Jose applies the same tactics to Liverpool all the time? Or do you think he sort of changes? Because he always seemed to be quite defensive against the top teams, and I think that's the point.
Listen, opposing Mourinho, the guy done good when he started. He done good at Chelsea, but at Man United he's feeling the pressure because they play attacking football. But let's see what he does. At the end, they had a good result yesterday. They went to a hard place and won. So let's see what he does. But let's see. Now the question, what's the thing? Let's talk about West Ham now.
We have covered.
No, let's talk. I think they're going to stay up.
What do you think?
Because I congratulated you on your fourth loss, so I congratulate you on your first win in the Premiership. Congratulations.
Yeah, first win in the Premiership. Yeah.
On the 16th of September, West Ham are now 16th. Well done.
One could argue, though, that you're now competing with, on current results, you're competing with the likes of Cardiff and people like that in a relegation dogfight.
I think they're going to step. They're comfortably going to stay up.
No,
I don't even think it's going to be. They got a top manager. Pellegrini's a top manager. He's not Sam Allardyce. He's nothing. He's a top manager. And remember, he's won the league with. He's won the league at Man City. Even though and I know he had all that money, but he still won it.
You can't compare.
You've got to deal with egos.
No,
You've got to deal with high people. Dealing with egos is hard work.
You can't compare players at Man City.
No way.
You could chuck any manager in.
No, he's not. Yeah.